telling you.
I have full disclosure, full disclaimer. By Canadian immigration law, I am not allowed to insult the Prince of
Oh,
Canada.
The
see,
Prince of
that's what I'm saying.
Canada.
All right. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Heroes Peak podcast. I am your host, Chris, and we're here to talk about entertainment, culture, and whatever the hell we feel like. And with me today, I have two real men of genius.
Funny.
I got James and Mike. How you guys doing?
Ready to rock and roll, dude. Straight from work. See the work attire.
Oh, you ready? Do you even remember anything that happens there? Have you been severanced?
Yeah, man.
The severance procedure sounds really nasty. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about Severance and the Adam Project today. Um, just a quick bit of news, I guess. I watched Turning Red. Did you guys see that? You guys watched any of
Nah.
this?
Not yet. It's on my list. Maybe this weekend.
Have you guys seen any of the weird
The backlash.
internet backlash over a random children's animated movie for some reason?
I've heard some.
Yeah, man. I heard there was not enough white people, which is making me not want to watch it. So
Well, I mean, it takes place in Canada. Nobody really wants Canadians taking over our
Ooh.
yeah,
entertainment.
yeah. It's not. Those aren't real white people, right? So
I don't know what to say to that one.
No, it's. I'm gonna tell you, it's really good, and don't let anybody tell you any different. I don't know. I remember. So the big to do was because some guy said they couldn't relate to a kid going through puberty or something, because that's really what this is it's about. A kid having trouble with their parent and going out and doing their own thing when they're not supposed to. Like kids don't normally do that. So I don't know. This person has a great imagination. The writer. Oh, so it
yeah,
was pretty good. I'll end up doing a review of it. It was just interesting because I Disney on the mind.
it's on our list, by the way, for upcoming.
It is.
Yep.
I'm surprised most of you guys don't watch the animated movies.
Oh, I think we
So
all watch Pixar here, right? So
I don't know. Well, I guess you all watch Soul.
yeah,
So
I don't. The only Pixar I haven't seen so far, I think, is Encanto, and that's Pixar, isn't it?
that's not
Pixar.
Pixar. That is
Encanto.
Okay,
Disney. And Kanto is
that's
Disney
just straight Disney.
animation.
Yeah, that's Disney. Yeah.
It's also
No, but
not anime.
yeah, I've
Just in
seen
case you
every
don't know.
Pixar movie then.
Jesus.
All right. Well, next week's our anime.
Mm.
So hey, all
Finally.
out there
Next week, ladies and gents.
Okay, just a note. James isn't even caught up on what we're supposed to talk about, so I don't want to hear any more of this. Chris, you got to talk about it if you won't even.
Trust me, I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Like Steve Kerr and Michael Jordan.
Right.
I'll be ready.
All right, you'll be ready. I'll be ready.
Just give me the ball. I'll be ready, Mike.
Okay. So why don't we just we're go right into our Severance discussion, and then we'll take a break and we'll talk about the Adam Project at the end. How does that sound? Okay, I'm gonna do it because that's what I said. Let's see. I brought stuff up here. So we're gonna start with Severance. Severance is actually over on Apple TV Plus, which it's had a couple of really good hits over there. Apple TV Plus.
Except for that
Surprisingly good.
Macbeth that we watched. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Who's best?
Hey, if you like Shakespeare, like classic Shakespeare, it was good.
That's true.
Had some cool
That's true.
cool cinematography, whatever. All right. Well, this is definitely not Shakespeare, but it is freaky as hell. So Severance 2022 um, uh, drama mystery sci-fi series created by Dan Erickson, who has no other credits on IMDb. This is it. So found that a bit odd to get something this big out. Directed by all of a sudden I'm blanking.
Adam Scott is directing too, right?
Walter
Oh,
Mitty.
my bad. My
No,
bad.
directed by Walter Mitty. What's his name? Oh God, no help.
Ben
Okay.
Stiller.
Ben Stiller. There you go.
That
That's what I was
guy.
looking for.
Yeah, that
Ben
guy.
Stiller. And so we are starring Adam Scott, Zach Cherry, Britt Lower, and uh, Tramal Tillman. And the whole cast is pretty interesting here. Not a lot of big. I mean, we know John Turturro, we know Christopher Walken, Patricia Arquette. So those are some solid names.
Yeah, I was
Um,
surprised to see Walken in this. I was like,
but
whoa,
but this is not a comedy
or
for all of
whoa.
these comedians. This is this shit is a dark, sci-fi drama. The basis of which is there's this thing called the Severance, which separates the mind. Oh, I almost closed the window. Which basically cuts the memory in half between work and outside of work. And when you're outside of work, you can't remember anything that happens inside work. When you're inside work, you can't remember anything that happens outside work. And this is probably just the low key freakiest, um, you know, non horror thing I've watched in a long time. Like
Definitely gives me
just
Twilight Zone vibes. I'm sure it does to you
Yeah.
guys.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I don't want to give out spoilers because this is a still active um series. I've only gotten up to episode 3. Unfortunately, I'm a little behind you guys, but we can still just kind of generally talk about it and how we're feeling about it and what you're getting out of this. Because like the first episode is very you just day in the life of Adam Scott's character. I don't even know what his character name is. Uh,
What is his character's name? Shit.
like it doesn't Mark. He doesn't even have a nobody has last names.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it's
so
just Mark.
I didn't
interesting.
realize that.
Mark.
Mark.
His boss calls him Mark R or Mark H or something.
That's right. It's kind of like Men in Black where they're just like Mr. J and Mr. M and all that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I mean,
and they're
so
not. Go
go ahead.
ahead, Mike. I want to
No, I
let
was
you
just gonna
go.
say. I mean, yeah. So you go on the first episode. We see that he's getting promoted to replace his boss,
Hmm.
who's no longer with the company to the shock of everyone.
Petey or Pete.
Uh, right, Pete. And
Hmm.
then come to find out, Pete's not exactly, you know, Pete's not missing. He's done some shady stuff where he's not supposed to be doing that the company doesn't like, right? So
Right.
he's basically what they call reintegrated, and then comes the mystery part because he's realizing that the company's been doing some shady stuff.
Right.
So and he's trying to get Mark to help him figure out what's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you have these other little sub stories. So you
Yeah,
got the new hire who you kind of start the series off
Mm-hmm.
um,
yeah, Helly,
with.
yeah.
So Helly, who is not sure she wants to be there, and so you get to go through her attempts to not be there
Mm.
or to quit, which is scary as all hell, right?
It
Then
is.
you
I don't
get
know if you saw. She wrote a resignation letter to her outside self.
Yes,
Did you see that
you
part?
yeah.
did.
So
And then her
so one
outside self rejected it.
But a
Well,
video,
I didn't
video
get that.
recording
We
has
didn't
just
get
been
that
seen.
far. So basically, the idea is you cannot pass information between the two locations.
Yeah,
There's when you go into work, you go through an elevator, which basically is some weird time continuum thing or whatever they'd explain it as. I'm sure later, um, which also has a way of if there's written information, no matter how it's written or where it's stored on or in the body, they will remove it. And so there is no way to pass information, as far as so far I know, between your outside and inside self. So your outside self may get a note from the company that says, "Hey, you had a little accident today, so that's why you have a band-aid. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And here's a coupon to make you feel better about yourself.
Correct.
So your outside self, no matter how you feel, what you're feeling or doing inside, whether you're enjoying or liking your job or not, you don't know it. So you go out, and we follow Mark on a day where he visits his sister and her husband, and that weirdness of the city that they, where are they? Colorado?
I don't
I don't
remember,
remember
but it's
where.
some weird
Yeah.
middle.
It's definitely a mountain,
Yeah,
like a
some middle America kind of.
middle mountainous, snowy.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It gives me Colorado vibes for some reason, like Denver or
Yeah,
something.
something like that,
Yeah.
right? For sure. But the town is very dreary. It seems dreary as well.
It's like a company town too. Like he lives in
Yeah.
company
Hmm.
apartments, um, and so you follow him on this kind of dreary day to day life until you get back and forth between those two settings, and you start to realize that um, oh, something's very very wrong here when you cannot help yourself.
Hmm.
Whether it's helping yourself during the day when shit's at work, or helping yourself at work with home stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's this, and the whole setup of the, I think one of the things that makes it so creepy is it's not like you walk into work, it's a regular job. You walk into work and it's this endless white identical hallways until you get to like one or two rooms which look different, and then those are very um bare.
Yeah.
Like the room that they work in is
Minimal.
only,
Yeah. Minimalistic.
Yeah, white walls, green carpet, and a couple of
Yeah, but
cubicles.
even the job itself seems weird. Like whatever they're supposed to
It is very weird. Yep.
programming or data acquisition, whatever that is, even that seems kind of weird.
Yeah,
and
where they tell
even
her look for the scary numbers and just eliminate it. It's like who knows
right.
what they're doing upstairs with that,
It's like
right?
Lost. Remember when they were
Yeah.
punching numbers?
Every
and
15
e-
minutes, you got to push the button.
and even within the job, they honestly don't know what's happening, so it's not like they have full information in work that they're not remembering. They don't have full information in work, and just
Yeah,
some.
I found it interesting because they had that one scene the next day they went into work, or Haley went into work, and she wasn't, she didn't want to be there or something. And the one they were talking about how it never feels like they've left
Yeah,
because
Mhm.
they don't know that they've left. They only feel refreshed, like they've slept. You know what I mean?
correct,
So they're not
Mhm.
tired or anything or hungry.
correct.
So it just seems like one constant, like time never ends for them,
Yeah.
right?
What's even weird, the one guy says they start speculating what's their outside work person like. Does he have me? He has a boat. He has a tank.
Oh,
Like they don't even
yeah,
know
this is
what
creepy.
kind of lives they lead outside of the work. That's the even
Hmm.
scarier. He's like,
Yeah, and by the way, guys,
I
I don't know, James, have you seen all 5 episodes so far?
I've seen up to this weekend, so that was
Okay, so you saw like Helly's situation gets a lot worse. You've seen that, right?
yes,
I won't
I saw
spoil
it.
it.
I saw it start to
Yeah,
disintegrate.
but it gets way worse.
I
So
expect so.
and I find it interesting they have their own, the one lady who's like the
a
psychiatrist there
psychiatrist. Yeah, yeah,
who follows people around and takes, she sits down with them for sessions. And then you have Christopher Walken with his whole
yes.
optics and design department,
Mm-hmm.
which is a whole nother weird thing.
It's very
Man,
long.
huh?
It's like it reminds me of Lost. Like
Yeah, oh, exactly.
now there's another hash. There's a tailie. Like what the hell happened here?
Right.
It is
And
definitely a weird, like a
mhm.
lot of mysteries to be solved here, a lot of questions, right?
Correct.
Yeah, a quick note to like a call out to Zach Cherry, who's one of their workmates. He's funny. He's the one who's constantly talking about what rewards he's received for the good
Oh, yeah.
job he does. And he's always talking shit about John Turturro's character,
Yeah.
who is
Yes.
that worker that just loves the company like too
He's the like
much.
the Dwight Schrute. Yeah, he's like the Dwight of
Say,
the company.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's,
So yeah,
let's not forget the tertiary characters are not even involved at the job site, like
uh,
his sister and sister's
Yeah.
husband. You know,
and sorry, Milchick, is that his name? They're like, he's not the boss. He's
No,
kind of like a middleman to the
he's
boss,
like the right hand of the boss lady, right?
but he does all of the dirty work.
No, but
No, there's two
not
different
he.
guys here. There's the black guy
There's
who's
another guy, Mr. Grainer.
yeah.
He's like the enforcer on the
He's the
floor.
one wearing the suit.
Yeah, and he's the one that puts you on timeout, right? If you do something
I don't know
wrong.
if Chris has gotten to that part yet. Introduced him. They should have introduced him. I think episode 2.
By 3 you should know who
Yeah,
he is by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the African
right. See,
American guy who's like the number 2, the right hand person.
Right.
yeah, that's who I
All
mean.
right.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's
so
the
there's two
one.
guys there. So
He,
the assistant to the regional manager. I don't know what else to call him.
yeah,
The top copy president.
Yeah.
Top copy.
Right.
yeah, but he's
Yeah,
like
but
way
and then
too
the white guy
friendly.
is like the
The enforcer.
security.
The
He's like head
security.
of
There
security
you
or
go.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that guy. And then Patricia Arquette playing the
Right.
boss,
Yeah.
Harmony. She is so good at playing this creepy, just stalkery,
Oh
just
yeah.
changing her attitude 1 second to the next. She's also like his next door
Neighbor.
neighbor, but also his boss. Oh,
Hmm.
Perfect role model
so
for a
yeah.
boss is her character.
hmm So yeah,
So that's the question I have though about her, because she's done things in the outside world which leads me to believe that she's not severed
no, she
and
does
she's
not
just playing
see
along.
Severance. Yeah.
So that's another question I have: is she severed or not? Because she is really kind of dumb on the outside
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
naive
but I think
and
it's
does
No,
stupid things.
because there's remember the book? She brought the book from
Yeah,
outside to inside.
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's
All right.
covered.
So we're definitely suggesting we're going to keep watching this. We'll talk about it when the series finishes. We suggest you go watch it, especially if you like mystery, sci-fi, drama, creepy, thriller,
Yeah, this is right up
and
my alley. I like this kind
It's
of
only
stuff.
9
I've
episodes,
said
by
it
the way.
before.
There's 5 out. There's 4 more left. So
Yeah,
yeah.
this is my kind of Hitchcocky and sci-fi that I love. So
Yeah, if you wanna feel like your work is less creepy than this is, it'll make you feel better about your job.
yeah.
yeah,
Touche.
exactly.
Touche.
Shit. All right.
It makes me
So
feel good
we're
about working from home.
Shit.
all right. When we get back, we'll take a few second break, and when we get back, we're going to talk the Adam Project.
Damn, Brooksy's not here to
So
shit on Ryan Reynolds.
No.
more
I was looking
Canadians, more
forward to that.
Canadians. What the hell is this? Too many
I was
Canadians.
looking forward to her talking about Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Putting up my border wall up at the Northern New York here.
All right.
All right. So we're back. We're going to be talking about the Adam Project, which is the 2022 direct to Netflix movie, directed by Sean Levy. You guys will know Sean Levy because he directed. Wait for it. The sorry, moved. My whole thing moved.
The what?
Wow, that didn't work at all. So
Do what
sorry,
now?
my
That's a
screen
fail.
moved. He directed Free Guy.
Right.
He's set to direct Deadpool 2,
3.
Deadpool 3,
Yeah.
and he directed Real Steel.
Yeah.
And
He's Canadian, by the way, from Montreal.
Another one?
Yep. We're taking over, man. Taking over we're going to move the Hollywood Hills sign up to Vancouver.
Might as well.
So that's Sean Levy, and written by Jonathan Tropper, T.S. Nolan, Jennifer Flackett, Mark Levin. So we've got a whole bunch of writers here. Starring the one and only Ryan Reynolds, but, well, not really the one and only.
What's his favorite?
Never
We
heard
have
of him.
Walker Scoble, who's basically a young Ryan Reynolds. Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Gardner, Zoe Saldana, Catherine Keener. I mean, this is a pretty named cast. I mean, we've seen
Yeah, I
this
mean,
out of
basically, if you played a Marvel character, you were in this movie.
Shit.
we've seen this out of Netflix lately. They are getting the big names. They're paying the money to get the big
They've been
names.
doing that
And
for a while now, but yeah.
for once it worked. I think this worked out. I don't want to jump ahead on a review here. So this is a action adventure comedy where after accidentally crash landing in 2022, time traveling fighter pilot Adam Reed teams up with his 12-year-old self for a mission to save the future. And this, when I say this is Ryan Reynolds, I honestly thought he wrote some of this because this is very Ryan Reynolds. Everything out of that man's mouth is a Ryan Reynoldsism, right? I
Although,
mean,
although in this one he was a lot more serious as his older self
Yeah.
than
I don't think
compared to
I don't.
like
I mean, they had bouts of seriousness, but
yeah.
90% of the work, and I'm not discounting the serious parts or the emotional bits because that's what
Hmm.
made this end up working.
Yeah.
But as announcement, because Brooksy, we know she hates Ryan Reynolds. She will hate this movie twice as much because the young kid plays a mirror image of Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah, he
and
was
he
great.
does it wonderfully.
Hmm.
Now, we in this house, we actually enjoy his comedy. We all laughed watching this. We enjoyed this movie. What did you guys think of the Adam Project?
I liked it actually. I wasn't a huge fan of Free Guy. Sorry, guys. But
Oh, I like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
me
was
too.
very
I
mediocre.
liked it too.
I had my issues with that movie. But Ryan Reynolds actually stood out in a role that I didn't think that he could carry. He did it pretty well. Like he played basically a straight faced serious guy with some Ryan Reynolds, you know, little
Really?
yeah. Especially when it came to the grief about the mom and the dad. There's quite a
Yeah.
bit of scenes where he played pretty.
Those, not really. I
No,
mean,
I agree
I'm going to
though.
let you go.
Yeah, I agree with
I
you. Go
think I
ahead.
know where Chris is going to go. Chris is going to say that's
Hmm.
par for the course for him. But no, like if you look at his last couple of movies, Deadpool and one with The Rock and
Red Notice.
Red
Red
Notice,
Notice.
and like those last couple of years of movies, he hasn't really shown his acting chops in a serious drama capacity. And not that this movie was a drama, it
Yeah,
really wasn't.
don't fool anybody.
Yeah,
There's some drama,
but
but this is not a
it was not a
drama.
drama. But
So you
there was
know.
some heavy scenes that he emoted. He did what actors are
Yeah.
actually paid to do. Besides just cracking one-liners and physical comedy, he did that pretty well. And then his chemistry he had with the younger actor, the young kid, was pretty good too. When he had to be serious, he was serious. And I wish I see more of this Ryan Reynolds and his other
Hmm.
stuff. But this movie really hit me. I didn't think this movie was going to be that good. To be honest with you, that's why I was delayed in watching it. But I knew I had to do it for the podcast, so I watched it. And I really enjoyed it. Yeah, the plot itself, time travel. I mean, how many different ways can we keep talking about time traveling and all this other
Fine.
stuff? But I enjoy what I saw. I really enjoyed it. That's my take.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, I'm with James. So when we did our review of Red Notice, my major complaint about Ryan Reynolds was that there was too much of the smart ass comments. It was too much for me. And I compare that to and I didn't complain about Deadpool because that's who Deadpool is. But most of his other movies, it was toned down a lot, and you could see that he was doing more dramatic stuff.
Oh, that
Like
Bodyguard movie. It just popped in my head. The other trash movie that he did. But go ahead, Mike.
which movie is
With
that?
Sam Jackson and Selma Hayek.
Oh yeah, the Hitman's
Thank
the
you.
Oh, the
Hitman's
Hitman's
Bodyguard.
Bodyguard. The
But
first
I
one was
mean,
good.
if you look at his earlier stuff, the movie he did with Denzel, what was it, Safe House? You ever seen that one?
Yes.
Mhm.
Holy shit.
See, he was
Yes.
good in
He was
that.
good in that.
Mhm. Yeah.
But that
So
was before he went full Ryan Reynolds.
yeah, and so he's got the ability to do it, and I was glad to see a lot of that return in this movie. Mark Ruffalo, I feel like Mark Ruffalo is falling into becoming a Mark Ruffalo. Like he's playing the same guy now every time. He's playing Bruce Banner in
Bruce
every
Banner,
movie.
the clumsy yet smart
Yeah,
type of
and
guy. Yeah.
and he wasn't that guy when he played the cop in Collateral. He was totally different.
Yeah.
He's also got the ability to do
Or
other
that
things, but
newspaper
maybe
movie. That movie, I forgot the name of it, but yeah.
yeah. So he's got the chops too, right? Like I know he does. But I'm going to blame the director on that, saying and pushing in that direction for the characters, the kid's father, right? So Jennifer Garner, we really didn't see her much, but
Yeah,
I know
I don't
she
know
was
if it was because of the way this her script and her role, but she was very
yeah.
misused and probably not even rightfully cast. I think because we've seen it
Wow.
before. She didn't seem
It
like
was very weird. There was that weird scene in the bar,
yeah,
Ryan Reynolds and her talking,
yes.
and it almost like I almost thought for a second she was going to try and hook up with him, and I was like, oh, this is getting very creepy. Like, stop.
Uh, but I thought that she was gonna mention
Wow.
something to him when she probably would have realized that was her son.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
the
she
movie,
was
and then you don't see her
exaggerating.
again until the end. And I'm like,
Yeah, but as far as the plot goes, I thought the plot was good. Like I like these time travel movies. Yeah, it can be overdone, but I thought this one was okay because our character went back and had to use the kid to get his help. I thought that was a good. It's a good family take on a time travel sci-fi movie, right?
And
Good.
it was pretty direct. Like there
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of weirdness to this or that. Okay, you go back in time. This is what happens. Then you gotta go. If you go back, if you die, you die. You know
hmm
those kind of things. There wasn't some weird over explanation time. It
I
was
do
just
like
like,
when the kid was talking about is this when the kid was trying to ask about time travel and Ryan Reynolds was like, "This isn't a multiverse," and
yeah,
you're overthinking it.
they got a little reference heavy.
Yeah,
Like the kid, like, is that a lightsaber? And
right.
Ryan Reynolds definitely wants a lightsaber. In the last two movies, he's given a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, he's auditioning for that next Star Wars role, right? So
yeah. That me the whole time travel construct itself, especially in the final act, to me was very hokey. Like I'm like, what is it supposed to be? Like the CERN laboratory? Like what are we quantum physics?
doesn't matter.
Because
it
yeah,
looked
the
like
Doesn't matter.
spaceships.
It didn't
Yeah,
matter.
but
it
it
looked
It
like
was
the
it
Iron
was
Man one
it
arc
does
reactor.
matter. It mattered only
it was
because
magic science.
no,
It's
it
magic science.
matters
It doesn't
only
matter.
because the first act they really focus on the space travel, his ship, his DNA. Then when what's her name, future freaking is the actress, Catherine Keener comes from the future, and all of a sudden you got these machines. So they really lay thick in the beginning of the movie about the time travel aspect, and then there's a drama piece in the middle act, the second act of the movie, and in the third act we're back into that time travel construct, and all of a sudden they're throwing more special time travel science that you're supposed to just believe. And to me, that was my. When we start nitpicking, my only issue with it is actually the plot device, and not necessarily the acting or any of the characters.
Were you talking about the soldiers on the plane with her?
Yes, everything. Yeah, like were they human? Were
I
they
don't think those
robots?
were robots. They weren't robots. Those were people, I think.
So when he was
Because the
hitting
one
them with
guy,
a lightsaber, he was smashing their atoms, and he was actually killing them.
because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what they explained was it's a mess when you die if you've
Out of your
traveled
time
out
loop.
of your time. Yeah,
Oof,
so you kind of
I missed
dissolve.
that.
Yeah,
I missed that. Then.
because the one guy was talking. The one soldier was talking to him. They knew each other,
Yeah, he's the only one that didn't have
right?
his mask on. So the actor,
Yeah, but I assume the rest of them were
yeah.
people. So
Shout out to him
Yeah,
from the
yeah, yeah,
sci-fi show that got canceled too early.
yeah.
which one?
The one where there was a spaceship, the Rosita. It's her.
Uh,
Yeah, I'll look it up later.
oh, the Expanse.
All right.
No, not that one.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
All right. All right. So for me, I'm just surprised listening to you guys. This is so weird because, like, I you're telling me there's all this drama parts, and there's like maybe three pieces of drama that very well done. They connect the whole thing. They make it all work. But there's basically like three pieces of drama in this whole thing. The rest of it is the kid acting like Ryan Reynolds, being a smart ass, getting beat up, and his, kind of mad at his mom, who Jennifer Gardner, I thought was fine. I didn't have any problems with Jennifer Gardner.
no, I didn't
And
have a problem
then
with her. I just said like she was barely in it, right?
Yeah,
So
which
right.
is the problem.
And
Which
then
is the problem.
yeah,
it really wasn't a problem for me. And then Ryan Reynolds shows up, being Ryan Reynolds. Like, he's in his spaceship shot, and he's still cracking jokes and quips and stuff like that. Goes back in time,
Yeah.
cracks jokes and quips, meets himself. Now they're both cracking jokes and quips the whole time. Like the only time they got serious, so he gets serious after he gets beat up. Like he watches himself get beat up, and it
No,
kind of affects
hang on,
him.
hang on. I'm gonna stop you there because as soon as he landed, he was serious from the time he saw the boy till like the next morning. He did
He
wasn't
was
cracking
not
jokes with him.
serious. He
Yeah, he
was
was.
he broke into the garage. The kid was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, basically, "Leave me alone, kid." He was not
He
serious.
wasn't
I don't
cracking
know what you
any.
call that
He
then.
wasn't cracking any jokes until he told the kid who he really was. That's when, to me, when it
Yeah.
was he went back to the typical Ryan Reynolds mode.
Right.
And then,
I
I
think
think you guys are misremembering that. Like a dozen
trust me,
jokes
I'm not a huge
that
fan of
touch on
Ryan
that kid.
Reynolds recently. Uh,
Even if they were lower key, it was all joke content, man. I'm
look,
telling you, I'm telling you.
I have full disclosure, full disclaimer. By Canadian immigration law, I am not allowed to insult the Prince of
Oh,
Canada.
the
see,
Prince of
that's what I'm saying.
Canada.
If you enjoy his constant jabber joke style, then you'll
Hmm.
enjoy this a lot because
Yeah,
there's a
exactly.
lot
Yeah,
in there.
and like I said,
It
it was toned down from compared to Red Notice.
yeah,
So this was the
well,
right
I
level
don't
for
think.
me.
See, this is where I disagree. I don't think it was, but I think the difference is The Rock is playing a straight man, trying to play a straight man to Reynolds being the only person who's doing this. Whereas in this one, it's a back and forth of equally jabbing between him and the kid, him and
Hmm.
himself. And then when he meets his dad, the dad is doing it too. Like purposefully, the two bicker until like he punches he punches him. Like there it was basically this runs in the family. This is how they act. This is who they are. Now, that being said, the scene in the bar was the best scene in the movie
With the between him and mom.
between him and his mom because it
Yeah.
sets the
Okay.
entire
I don't
movie
know
and it
about
I
best
wouldn't
sets
say
scene. It was
best
a good.
scene in a movie.
it
It was a good
absolutely is
scene.
the best scene in the movie.
No,
So she is upset. She's just taking a minute out and he's sitting in the bar and he sees her and this is his mom and they strike up a conversation basically she's saying how she's having a tough time with her son and he lost his dad and
yeah,
he obviously
I,
understands and he's being a nice guy and he's saying yeah I understand and he gives her some advice
Good advice.
that
Yeah.
really touches her
Hmm.
and really lets her understand that he does get and that makes her kind of connect with her son quite a bit with what he's feeling and what she might be able to connect with him better and then he gets up and leaves and she goes to chase him out and of course he's disappeared so I love that scene. I think it's the heart of the movie. Now you might say okay maybe it's the end when he connects with his dad. That's a great scene as well. That's a wonderful heartwarming scene whether you're
No,
talking about
well, I think for me more was the scene, which kind of confused me as to why older the older one forgot how his dad was. The older one kept saying to the younger one that dad was never around, he didn't do anything. But then the younger one had to correct him later on, if you remember,
yeah. But
because
I
yeah
knew
but he
why.
specifically
I knew why
he
because
played catch with us every night.
as time
Yeah,
progresses, your memories gets to this is real life gets to story. Like if you
yeah,
used to remember changes over time, you start focusing on maybe some negatives and some memories. Whereas he's still a
hmm,
fresh kid, so he still has the closest memory to what his dad was like, unlike older Ryan Reynolds.
yeah the kid literally says that to him. He goes you're remembering this
Wrong,
wrong
yeah.
because he comes
right.
out no matter whether he's tired or not and he's like well he bought us that stupid thing to play catch because he didn't want to play catch and he's like no no that's not why he did that
Yeah,
Right.
and so like he has to remind his older self because like if I sit there and go why did that happen? Like I remember an event, but I'm not quite everything around it's kind of fuzzy, right?
hmm,
But as a kid, it's fresh. You know exactly what happened, you know why it happened for the most part. So I understand that was really cool. But those speckled and very acute emotional anchors made all of the jokes and all of the fun and all of the adventure really work because it gave you a heart to the character that he did not have in Red Notice. So like in Red Notice, he's got this story about his dad again,
Hmm.
but that story you can't tell if he's lying, you can't tell if he's bullshitting, you're not sure if it's real, it never means anything. So like it doesn't give an emotional anchor to the character. Whereas in Free Guy, I thought he had a good emotional anchor to the character. And in this one, he definitely has a really strong emotional
Yeah.
anchor.
So him
And
and
we see it
Zoe
throughout.
Saldana had some great
I
scenes
was
as
going to get to
well.
that. I was waiting because I wanted
Yeah.
to
That,
challenge Chris's idea of the heart of the movie
Great action
was the bar
scenes.
scene. I disagree. I don't believe that was the
Absolutely
heart of the
is.
movie. I 100% disagree. I think what really carried the movie was the two Adam freaking Ryan Reynolds and his younger self, and there's some very specific scenes when they're arguing and they're trying to figure out the best way to get back to Zoe Saldana and to time travel. Like they had so many different moments to me that you can't just focus on one. And it had again, this is why I didn't like Jennifer Garner in this role. I think that was the only scene where she got to show that she was like of value to the entire story. But beyond that, even at the end when the young Adam gives her the hug because he's supposed to reconcile the fact that he wasn't there for his mom as he got older. Yeah, the little hug scene that was cute, but it had nothing to do with Jennifer Garner's character. It had more to do with the young Ryan Reynolds, Adam, young Adam's call him young Adam, and old Adam. And in fact, if I had to pick out of all different scenes, well, my favorite is probably the catch where they're playing catch at the end. The three of them, young, old, and the dad, and then they disappear.
Hmm.
To me, if I
Yeah, it's a
have to
great
pick
scene.
what the whole
yeah.
story
Those
was
were.
about, it's about that moment
Yeah. Yeah. I also
It's a
thought.
Mhm. No, go
Yeah.
ahead,
I
Mike.
thought the stuff with Zoe and Ryan was great. Um, uh, I think there was more emotion there for me in that part, those parts than the rest. So
they have interesting chemistry. I never thought the two of
yeah.
them.
Mhm. And she did great. She when she came on when she joined that scene, the action scene,
Mm-hmm.
she was just on top of stuff. I love Zoe
Well,
Saldana.
she's got the
She's
fight
doing
choreography
great,
history. Yeah,
right? Well, the both of them are just like you don't need to train us. We're good
we've
at
done
this. We can
this.
do this already,
Yeah, we're vets.
right?
Right.
But also the great moment when she's doing the
Sacrifice.
she's got the rocket,
Oh.
she shoots the truck, they get out, she's firing, and then she turns around, the spaceship's there, she's doing that last before she dies,
That was yeah, that was good.
dialogue, and then she sees his ship leave, like he's gotten away, and like you can see her emotional change, that she's happy
Yeah,
that she was successful, like that was all great. It's not just one scene, I'm not saying that's the only scene that mattered. The movie works because all of these scenes are there. You can see
I
his
agree on
connection to
that.
his wife,
Yeah, I
you
agree.
can see the connection to his young self, you can see the connection he wanted and eventually was able to recover with his mother, you can see the connection he wanted and was able to recover with his father, and this the guy got to do it all, right?
I agree
In this little side trip, and it really made the movie a lot better and stronger than even I liked Free Guy. This is stronger than Free Guy to me.
for sure. That's not a high mark.
Obviously, this is a lot higher than Red Notice, but like say Deadpool. Deadpool's a strong movie.
Hmm.
Um, it's I don't think it's quite as strong as Deadpool because the character, like his
Not the
character,
first
doesn't feel
one.
like
Yeah,
as strongly defined. Like it's defined by the fact that Ryan Reynolds makes jokes. Like that's the defining of the character for the most part. And
Right. And breaking
connection
that
with his
fourth wall, yeah, is different.
right, yeah. But yeah, it I would say this is one of the better Ryan Reynolds movies I've seen.
I agree with you on that one. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm with you there. In a while, yeah, it's the best one in a while. So
So yeah, the action was good. They had top notch action choreography. I was pretty well surprised. So I'm looking forward to this director doing Deadpool 3 because he got Ryan Reynolds to do all of the things we want Ryan Reynolds to do. Action, drama, uh, comedy, the whole shebang.
Hmm.
So, am I missing anything? Anything you guys wanted to mention or talk
It
about?
seemed like they had a pretty decent budget. It
Yeah,
didn't
that
blow
was
me
just
away
that.
with the cinematography and the special effects. I thought it was okay. It was average.
They kept everything small, like the spotted behind the house, a spot on a empty road by a house, and like some CGI spacecraft, which is fine.
Yeah,
Them in a
you could almost tell that the director was like, "This is going to be a Netflix movie. I'm going to film this for people." Right, like, compared to like 80 millimeter Tarantino esque wide shots. You know what I mean? That only look good on a big screen. Like he narrowed it down so you can, if you're watching on your phone or you're watching on your TV, you can still get, good idea of what's happening, right?
And I only
and you
look.
don't have to.
Go ahead, Chris.
I was just gonna say, and you don't have to buy or build gigantic sets.
Correct.
Your
Hmm.
set pieces are relatively simple. It's all character work that's really carrying it. You're
Yeah,
not
probably the
trying to
most
do.
intricate was the lab, right at the end.
Yeah,
And
which is what I'm going to nitpick. Is that's the part that really threw me in a tailspin because the whole thing it didn't look great. It looked like a sci-fi freaking movie. Not too cool.
Well, I don't know how was it supposed to look. How else? I don't know. I,
I
they
don't know
brought
what
in,
time travel labs are supposed
yeah,
to be.
exactly.
Um,
It looked like I said.
I give the Terminator Genesis, which is a terrible movie. They had a great freaking setup for time traveling in the beginning.
That's
I
true. That's
think the
true. I
budget
forgot
might
about.
have been a bit higher for Terminator Genesis.
I forgot about that movie.
Terrible
Maybe
movie,
they should
but great effects.
they should build one set that's called the Time Travel Paradox Scientific Lab and keep it, and then all movies must use that same
Yeah,
set.
like everybody who uses Lucasfilms for special effects.
That's right. That's why we know it's time travel because you're using this set. It's different than the biology lab. It's different than the submarine. This is the time travel set. All right, why don't you give me some grades?
Hmm.
What would you guys grade this as? Any
I'll
thoughts,
go
Mike?
first. Yeah. This one, good story, good acting, uh, a good all around movie. Good movie to watch with the family. So I'm gonna give it a B.
All right, James.
Despite everything I said, I'm going to give it a B plus. I think it's definitely a great heartfelt movie. Ryan Reynolds MVP. Despite my nitpicking of the final act and some of this time traveling hokey pokey type of stuff, I really enjoyed it. So I can't give it anything lower than a B plus. So I'll go with a B plus.
Yeah, I'm actually going with B plus two. Just I thought it was peppy. I thought it kept moving. It didn't like stall at all. Even when you get to the more dramatic scenes, it didn't feel like the story like took a no dive or anything like that. They kept everything moving, um, and double of Canada's favorite son. So I can't wait to hear Brooks's love for this movie.
D for doo doo.
I would be surprised if she doesn't turn it off in the first 10 minutes. All right. Yep, that's it. That's the Atom Project. So that was a fun watch. It's good when we are surprised by a movie that we're like, I don't know, it's got big stars. It should be okay.
Yeah.
Like when you get these big star-studded movies and you're like really disappointed, it's
Right.
so annoying. So I think Netflix is on a freaking hot streak here.
Are
They are spending the money.
Are they?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess. Netflix really hasn't had a slump since the pandemic, to be honest.
No.
Like their
So
Like even their shitty movies do well.
yeah, their
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hit rate is phenomenal.
Yeah. I
Whew,
don't
well,
think.
they're gonna
Yeah.
there's the news out there that they're going to start hitting you with you should pay for another subscription if someone else is using your login.
Yeah, they're setting up a paywall for password
I,
sharing.
I don't know if it's official because technically I if I'm traveling should be can log into my Netflix from anywhere.
True.
So I think it's a suggestion pop up. I don't think they can block you from using it from another IP because it's not IP based; it's login based.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so
We'll see.
they can say, "Hey, we think you're sharing this with somebody else," and I can say, "No, I'm fucking traveling,"
Exactly.
whether or not
Verified retinal
whatever.
scan.
That's right. That's where we're gonna get this DNA connection.
Great.
Alrighty
All
then.
right. Thank you guys for joining me. Had a fun time. Next week, Attack on Titan. Talk about being depressed. We're about to be depressed for an hour.
Be ready. Be ready.
Be ready by finishing the first season,
Oh yeah. I got
and
I
we'll have.
got you, Michael. I'll be ready.
All right. Thank you for joining me, Mike. Where can the good people find us and talk to us and tell us what they thought about our topics today?
As always, we're all over the internet at Heroes Peak. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment and hit that bell in the corner to get notifications. Share our videos. Let people know we're out there. That's it.
That's it. That's it. See you next week, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Adios.
Bye.